Okay, I want everybody, eyes on me. I want everybody paying attention. We're doing all the lovely things we do for Mrs. Piper every day, okay? Okay. So, can anybody tell me when Columbus's first voyage to America was? Hands raised. Yes. It's like that. Does anybody know the date? Maybe. Yeah. June 20th. Well, that's a really random date. The year, maybe? The year? Does anybody know the year? We talked about it. I'm sure y'all talked about it. Jace?
2024?
No. How about 1492?
Yes.
Okay. What was Columbus hoping to find when he reached his destination?
Gold, spices, and nuts, and beautiful tombs.
Let's remember to raise our hands, okay? Thank you for giving out that answer, though. That is right. He was looking for gold and spices. So today, we're going to read a little bit more about what happened after Columbus made his first voyage. About 100 years after. So, his voyage sparked interest in what Europeans believed was newly discovered land, okay? And the next few read-alouds are going to take place more than 100 years after his first voyage, just like I said. Columbus, he died believing that he had reached the Indies, but future explorers proved him wrong. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's still recording. Thank you for pointing it out, though. So, do we remember this picture, or this image? It's okay. Remember, we're pretending it's not there. It's okay.
Yeah, we do.
Yep, we've seen this before, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This map shows what Europeans thought the world looked like in Columbus's time. But, I'm going to stand up, okay? This guy, if I can pick it up, I'm a little short, like, little, is what it actually looks like. So it looks like, I think, kind of in this region here. We've all seen this, I'm sure.
Yeah, they didn't even know the area of America and South America was even alive.
Right. Is it okay if I leave that there?
No. Yeah, I can't.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just going to put it down. I'm just putting it down.
From the bottom is the South Pole.
That is true.
My mom told me that was mind-blowing, but the water was actually real.
Mm-hmm. So, for really quick, we're going to talk about how the two maps are different and how they're similar, okay? So, what do both the world map of today, so this guy, and the 1492 map show? This one. So, what do they both show?
Water.
Water.
And the land that the Andes.
The Andes.
And the where the whole country they land. The boo.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you mean this thing right here?
The big round thing around that thing. It just cut that part. So like this part.
Okay. So what looks different?
That there's no there's no South American.
I love how your hand is raised.
That it's back there and they didn't even know it and that even existed.
What didn't they know existed?
That
Whoa! I loved how her hand was raised. I loved that. Can we keep doing that, Parker?
It was because it's our land.
Our land. So, did they know this existed?
No. Yes. No. Yes.
What about this?
No.
Remember, we're talking about Columbus's time. So when Columbus made.
Columbus thought that he could just go go around and then circle around the elephant today.
Yes. Okay. So we talked about how they're alike and how they're different, and we've talked a little bit about it. But why are they different? Yes. All the way in the back. Yeah.
He thought that our world wasn't real. He thought it was just water, but that wasn't true.
Right. It's not true.
And he sailed west. He sailed west, and then he thought it was the Indies, but he was actually in our world where we live. So he didn't know that he was in America.
Mm-hmm.
He only knew that this was the Indies. He didn't know that this side of the earth, this side of the earth, exists. They just thought it was just all water. So,
Okay.
so that I probably know why the kings and queens didn't believe him, because they thought they probably thought that the American our world exists.
They didn't know, right?
Probably.
They didn't know our world existed yet.
No.
But we know now. So today our read aloud story is gonna take place. And,
when he sailed west, and he called them Native Americans Indians.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yep.
he thought he was an Indian.
Yep, but we're moving on, right? So let's talk about where our story is gonna take place today. It's gonna take place on the continent of Europe. Okay? So do you see right here, Europe? Right in this area. Yeah, you see it. You're right next to me. I'm more concerned about the people in the back seeing it. Okay? Does everybody see?
Yeah. No. Yes. No.
Right here?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah. No. No. Nope.
I feel like you guys are just saying no, so I keep pointing at it.
Yeah, me too.
And I've heard some of you mention the names of European countries from the past read alouds. So can anybody tell me the name of any European countries from the past read alouds? Yes, Harper. Asia?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
The Native Americas?
Americans.
Americans, that is not a country. Mason, yes.
The country, wait.
Do you remember what it's called? Can any friend help him out? What is that boo country called?
I can't see.
It's right here. Jackson? Italy. Okay. Specifically, we're going to be talking about England. So, you have heard about England before. It's also known as the United Kingdom. It's right here. It's this little country right here.
Super tiny.
And, you know, here's where we are. So think about that, okay? When we're reading.
Me too.
Right here.
I can't see.
You see. Other people can't always see. Thank you. Okay. Yes.
It is a big area.
It is a big area. That is great.
And you can't see.
Okay. Today we're going to be talking about the Pilgrims, okay? The Pilgrims were not always called Pilgrims, and that's because the word pilgrim means someone who makes a very long journey, okay? It's not a specific person. It just means if you've made a long journey, all right? First, let me switch this picture here. We're no longer talking about the world map anymore. Talking about...
Not that. I already solved
This is our first picture for the day. And these are all explorers. Are you ready for your story?
Yes.
everybody. I want your listening ears on. I want you to face me. I don't know why we're facing different places. Okay? Do you remember which country's king and queen helped Columbus sail across the ocean from Europe?
Queen Isabella and Queen Ferdinand.
Which country's king and queen?
Spain.
That's right. It was Spain. Columbus was one of the first explorers to visit what they call the New World. And explorers travel to unfamiliar places to find or learn something. Our first word, explorers, people who travel to unknown places, all right? But after Columbus's voyage, many other countries in Europe began sending their own explorers hoping to find gold and jewels. Their men sailed westward from France, Portugal, the Netherlands, and England. All right? England, we just talked about it. For the next 100 years, European explorers and their ships sailed back and forth across the Atlantic Ocean, exploring the continent of North America and updating their maps based on what they learned. Okay, so this next picture here is the Susan Consonant, Godspeed, and Discovery heading to Jamestown Settlement, all right? As time passed, the Europeans began to build colonies in America. Colonies is our next word. And Europeans began to settle in various places in America. Colonies are areas of land where native people are ruled by people from another country. Can you tell me what you see in this picture?
Water.
Water. What do you see?
I see ships and water.
Ships and water.
I see a boat.
Do you see anything else?
No. Yeah.
Is there maybe something on the ships that you might know?
Flags.
Flags. This, I believe, is the England flag, and I don't quite know what that flag is. And those others I can't really see. All right. What do you mean? They're the same flag. They look a little different. Okay. All right. I know they're kind of tiny. Maybe later we can look at them. All right. Years before, Columbus tried to start a colony in Hispaniola by claiming that the land he came upon belonged to King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. Now, 100 years later, other Europeans were doing the same thing. In 1607, the English people started one of the first colonies in the New World. They named it Jamestown, after their ruler, King James I. King James was well liked by the English people, but sometimes he used his power badly. As the head of the Church of England, King James declared that everyone in his kingdom must share his religion or beliefs. All right? This is our next word. They must all attend the Church of England, the King's Church, and pray as the king prayed. The English people had no choice. Do you think this might have made some people unhappy if they had different beliefs in the king?
Yep.
Why? Does anyone have any other ideas? No. Jackson. They don't want to follow the same beliefs the king did?
No, they don't want to.
Let's fix your mask and put it up right so I can understand what you're saying. I can't understand what you're saying when it's in between your lips.
So they don't want to stay on his religion.
They don't want to share his religion?
Yeah, that's maybe.
Very.
All right. I'm getting ready to turn the page for a new picture. You know?
Whoa! Wow.
It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the Church of England. So, most people in England followed the king's command, but there were some English people who did not. One group was known as the Separatists. The Separatists had their own beliefs about how to pray. They were disappointed in the king's church. Disappointed means feeling that things did not work out as planned. So, they formed their own church and began meeting in homes. If they stopped going to the king's church, were they breaking his rules? What do you think would happen? Yes, Parker.
Break his rules.
Oh, yep, they were breaking his rules, but what do you think would happen once they broke his rules? Yes.
They would go to jail.
Okay, they'll go to jail. Does anybody else have a different idea? Ronan? Yep.
Does he have power?
King James has power. So what do you think is going to happen to the people who disobey King James?
He'll use his power.
Oh, he'll use his power on them. Okay, these are all good ideas.
I got one.
Okay, I love that we all have ideas, but we're going to move on, all right? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when they refused to attend the Church of England, the king was furious. The Separatists said they would not go to the king's church on Sunday. If you miss the Sunday worship service, he told them, you must pay a fine or money. And he warned them, if you continue to miss church services, I will command my soldiers to arrest you and throw you in jail. The word fine means to pay money as a form of punishment. All right. So in this story, the word fine means to pay money as a form of punishment. All right. You can imagine how upset the Separatists became. They lived in fear of being arrested and thrown in jail. One woman whispered to a friend, "I think someone working for the king has been watching our house." Her friend looked around nervously to make sure no one was listening and then said, "My husband thinks someone has been following us in the streets to see if we are going to our own prayer meetings instead of going to church. Who knows which of us might be next?" All right. The Separatists decided to leave England, and life became harder and harder for them in England. Other people looked at them curiously, and they did not know what to do. Some people were not nice to them, which made the Separatists very unhappy about living in England. They heard that people in other countries were able to worship as they pleased. That means that other people had a choice about what religion they wanted to practice. And so, the decision was made to leave Europe behind. They would look for a way to reach North America, and the Separatists were about to begin a pilgrimage, or journey, to this continent that was brand new to them. From here on, they would be known as the Pilgrims. Okay. Who were the Separatists? Yes, you're correct. But what did they do? Like, what was going on that made them Separatists? What were they upset about? Yes. Yeah. That's okay. What were you gonna say?
That because other people went in the castle.
They wanted to go in the castle. I don't think I showed you a castle. I showed you a church.
Yeah, the church.
What Did the separatists like King James?
No.
Why?
Because they wanted to build their own church.
They wanted to build their own church. So, are separatists the people in England who didn't want to share the king's religion? Did you say you guess? You gotta know. Were they or were they not?
No. Nope.
They didn't want to share the king's religion.
Nope.
Who were pilgrims?
People that met the Native Americans.
Yes, but I didn't read that.
People who sailed on a really long journey.
Did they like King James?
No.
So, were they kind of like separatists?
Yeah.
Are they the same thing?
No.
Why not? Yeah.
Because they're not in the same family.
A separatist is not a family. It's almost like y'all weren't listening. And we all should have been listening. Because I don't really think I have time to go back and read the whole story again. And we're going to do an activity based on this story after this. Okay. I have some questions for you that I hope you can answer. After Columbus's time, did the Europeans ever sail westward across the Atlantic Ocean again?
No.
Why not?
Because then they knew that wasn't the way to the Indies. He said it went down way.
Why did you say yes?
Because in the French Indies finally, but and it went back to another long time.
They went back. So they did. Many explorers followed Columbus to North America after. All right? And the read aloud that I just read to you said that in 1607, the English people started one of the first colonies in the New World. Why do you think the English wanted to have colonies in this place that was unfamiliar to them? I'm going to read it again. And this time I'm not moving on until we answer this question. So, if we don't get to the lovely activity Mrs. Pfeiffer and I planned, then we don't get to it. We will be answering these questions. All right? The read aloud said that in 1607, the English people started one of the first colonies in the New World. Why do you think the English wanted to have colonies in this place that was unfamiliar to them? Oh, I love the hands. Jackson?
Because they really wanted that place, so they just wanted colonies in it.
Oh, so they really liked it when they got there. So they wanted to stay there?
Yeah.
Why did you think, Parker?
I forgot.
Oh, that's okay. Does anybody else have any other ideas? One of my ideas is that they wanted to look for gold and other treasures.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, you do? Or maybe they wanted an opportunity to separate from King James and then they would have their own power. Or maybe they wanted to be free to practice their own religious beliefs, like the story I just read, you know?
All of them.
I think they're all right too.
Me too. Me too.
Next question. What rule did King James have that the separatists did not like? Yeah. No, that's okay. I forget all the time. Parker. Powers. Are you sure? They didn't like that he didn't have power?
What? No powers.
I don't think that's what I read. He did have power. But why did he use his power? Do you remember that church?
No. Yeah.
Does it have something to do with the church, maybe? Yeah, Harper? They wanted to make their own church. Thank you for remembering. So, because they wanted to make their own church, what did they decide to do? They were out of there, right?
Yeah.
They were like, if I can't follow your rules, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
So, what happened to the people who wouldn't go to the church? Do you remember? That was kind of a really small detail. Yeah.
That and they went to that, but and they said, no, you won't go into our aisle because this is our world.
Okay. Did they maybe, do you remember that word I talked about? It started with an F or a F sound. Was it fine?
No, yes.
Do you remember what that word means?
Yeah, no. No, you gotta pay.
They had to pay money.
Yeah.
All right? If you were a separatist, so put yourself in their shoes. If you were a separatist living in England during this time, would you want to leave to go to a colony in North America, or would you want to stay in England?
Stay in England.
Why?
Because
Whoa. I love all the ideas. Let's raise our hands and do one at a time so we hear all of our friends. Yeah.
I don't want to stay there because I do not want to stay there because I left my mother.
Do you not want to stay there maybe because you would have to follow the king's rules?
Yes.
Whoa, I was talking to her. I wasn't talking to y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, was that your idea? Okay. I'm going to hear one more person, okay? Mason, yes.
Yeah, I would like to stay at England because if we go to the church, he might give us gold.
Oh, he might give you treasure for doing what he asked? That's a great idea. Okay. Do you remember the word disappointed?
Yes.
Do you see the word disappointed anywhere in this room?
No. Yeah.
I do.
You just grabbed the word.
Can you? Yes, I did. Can you say the word disappointed with me?
Disappointed.
One more time, because I feel like we were kind of just messing around that time. Let's say it like we mean it. Disappointed. Thank you. It means feeling that things did not work out as planned, and you might feel disappointed if you really want chocolate ice cream and the ice cream shop ran out of chocolate. So we do this all the time. I've been here. We do it every time. I'm going to read some sentences to you. If you might feel disappointed by the occasion described in the sentence, say, I would feel disappointed. If you wouldn't feel disappointed, say, I would not feel disappointed. Are you ready to hear my sentences? You got the bicycle you wanted for your birthday. Would you feel disappointed or would you not feel disappointed?
Not disappointed.
I'm pretty sure when we do this every other time, we say, I would not feel disappointed.
I will not feel disappointed.
Okay. It is rained on a day you were hoping to play outside.
I would not.
Whoa. All the different ideas going on. Let's say it again. It rained on a day you were hoping to play outside. I would feel disappointed. I would not feel disappointed.
I would not.
One more. Your friend got sick and couldn't come over to play. I would feel disappointed or I would not feel disappointed.
I would not.
For all the people who said they would not feel disappointed, didn't you want your friend to come over to play? So then you would feel disappointed. You want your friend to come over to play. They get sick, they can't. You would be disappointed.
I would be disappointed if I was also sick and I couldn't come over to him.
Okay, Mrs. Piper, do you think we
Listen. Miss friends, some of you are being very disrespectful to Miss Winter.
do you think we have time for that activity?
We'll have to do it after recess.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Please
whoa.
be careful.
That is a really nice card.
Yeah, please be careful, they're not landing.
Friends, I hope we come back from lunch and recess in a better mood than we were in right now. This seems to be an all-day thing, and I really hope it's not, because I'm sure we have some fun things planned out for the rest of the day, and I would like to participate in them.
Okay, I'll try to calm down.
I would say we were pretty calm, but I just don't think we were listening. And that's sad, because there was some really fun stuff in this story that you might have missed. Okay? So can we all come back maybe in a better mood with our listening ears on,
Yes.
ready to listen and have a great rest of our day?
Yes.
Okay. What would you like them to do next?